Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. A very interesting news day. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Bitcoin and Ethereum have reacted positively to news of the OCC giving the green light to US banks to offer crypto custody solutions to their customers. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or the OCC, made the announcement yesterday and stated the following. They said the OCC has specifically recognized the importance of digital assets and the authority for banks to provide safekeeping for such assets since 1998. In the letter published today, the OCC concludes that providing cryptocurrency custody services, including holding unique cryptographic keys associated with cryptocurrency, is a modern form of traditional bank activities related to custody services. Crypto custody services may extend beyond passively holding keys. The announcement by the OCC further elaborated that banks need to offer adequate security for customers holding digital assets. Brian P. Brooks, acting comptroller of the currency, explained that banks need to evolve to meet the needs of their customers and I guess consumers as well. They said, from safe deposit boxes to virtual vaults, we must ensure banks can meet the financial services needed of their customers today. The opinion clarifies that banks can continue to satisfy their customers' needs for safeguarding their most valuable assets, which today, for tens of millions of Americans, includes cryptocurrencies. Listen to the wording of all of this. It is very fascinating that this, a lot of times whenever we get news within the cryptocurrency space, I'm usually surprised at the reaction from the community, I kind of want to say. I've been into cryptocurrency since around 2012. I've said that many times before, yada, 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 cool. The old idea was that eventually we would get to a point around 2013. The discussions began when Bitcoin, hit above $1,200 US, that eventually banks would not be able to ignore us anymore. They would simply have to kind of fold, bend, kneel the knee, whatever you kind of want to say, and accept that we were here, and they would simply have to change their methods to be able to accept crypto and accumulate crypto and advertise, all these other things that go with banks accepting cryptocurrencies and they're custodying them. Of the last 2 years have been quite fascinating to me in that everything that was, I want to say, predicted, whether it be from Antonopoulos, the other guy who made Shapeshift, and all these other people who had radical ideas at the beginning of the cryptocurrency revolution, if you will, have all been completely correct. The interesting part for me has been, once again, over the last 2 years, that all of these things have taken place that they said would happen, but the cryptocurrency prices have remained stagnant, have dropped. But that's, of course, an entirely different conversation, or it could even blend into this actual video here as well. So, the announcement for what it is that the OCC has officially announced, this is news, and I am also surprised that it's not everywhere. I found this on about 5 different websites, give or take. It says U.S. bank regulator grants authority for national banks, federal savings associations to custody crypto. Banks in the U.S. can now offer crypto custody services. This was said by the regulator. And U.S. banking regulator greenlights crypto custody at federally chartered banks. In one fell swoop, bam, banks within the United States can now hold and custody cryptocurrencies, and I assume this also blends into them being able to sell it in some sort of way. But even the most interesting part is that there's been a blanket answer. All banks within the United States can now offer custody for cryptocurrencies. One would assume that this would have made national crypto headline news, or even I didn't hear a word about this on the actual traditional news outlets. So everything, once again, that these people said was going to happen has happened. We were, kind of fought against. We have tons of crypto derivatives, tons of crypto I mean, kind of whatever you want to name it. We have them. Tons of institutional investors are in the cryptocurrency space. We know that there are huge organizations buying up cryptocurrencies. We know that all the major stock exchanges around the world are also buying and have been buying cryptocurrencies for a number of years. We know that tons of banks, institutions, family offices have been in it. And now we have the news. If we had, so for reference, the cryptocurrency market is going up right now. It's not a huge going up, not as much as you would logically think, but it still has gone up by a number of, anywhere from 1 to 7, 8, 9. Some coins are up by 15% over the last 24 hours off of this news. But it's not as big as of a pump as I would have thought. The market is pumping, if you kind of want to say that, but it's still not as insane. And maybe this news will simply grab hold of the public as the day ends up going on. But one would have assumed, like, this was the final. It's not the nail in the coffin. This is the final straw. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, the U.S. is now they've made it clear multiple times, even with their faulty wording over here. They recognize that tens of millions of people within the United States have cryptocurrency as some form of an asset, or whether whatever the case might be. And then they said banks should be able to help people with this. Once again, also putting into reference that Bitcoin has only been around for 11 years. I find it always very strange how quickly Bitcoin was adopted by major institutions, banks, and governments. Even around like 7 years after Bitcoin had been around, they were all like, okay, well, it's not that bad. Which leads me to believe, I guess, is a bit of a tinfoil hat moment. I don't know if they were involved. I don't know if they simply, I tell myself this often, I don't think that they were, we know that people who are usually, this is me, who are usually in power are usually not all there. And I don't think that collectively the world leaders and banking leaders around the world were simply like, wait, the dollar's bad. Like, maybe we should adopt that brand new thing that's only been around for about 7, 8 years. Yeah, that sounds really cool. And then now they're all kind of adopting it. Doesn't it seem weird to anyone else that Bitcoin has been around for 11 years and all banks within the United States have now pretty much said, okay, it's fine. We'll hold it. We'll custody it. Stock exchanges have been accumulating it since 2014. It's not weird to anyone. Like, imagine any other, no. Like, I can't imagine the creation of anything else that would have received such rapid adoption as Bitcoin has. And once again, I know that Bitcoin is in some ways superior to the US dollar, or quicker and faster and stronger and better and more liquid than actually paying in gold. But still, doesn't it seem a little weird? Is it really just me who kind of, I've spoken with other friends as well, and they're like, no, because Bitcoin is far. And I'm like, yeah, I know that Bitcoin's superior, but it's been 11 years. Like, 11 years isn't that long ago. I guess, well, not trying to overshadow that news. The point is, all banks within the US can now offer crypto custody services. So logically, that is the final piece of the puzzle that we really needed. Regardless of the actual news that people have been waiting for actual like taxation reasons and all this other stuff when it comes to dealing in cryptocurrencies, or what's a security and what's a commodity. Every major, yeah, that's everything. Do you get what I'm saying? There's really no more barrier to actually being in the cryptocurrency space. It's incredibly easy to buy, sell, hold, and trade. We don't just know, it's no longer just Coinbase and Poloniex and Kraken. We now have hundreds of different websites, and even the websites that were there before, they have hundreds of different cryptocurrencies on them. And it's really easy. You can pay for them with debit or credit or Visa or Mastercard. We're soon in this month or in the next week or two going to have PayPal announced their also integration of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency assets. We have all the stock exchanges in the world who are integrating and or making their own cryptocurrency exchanges. We have several major banks around the world who already came out in support of it. JP Morgan Chase and many of the other larger institutions have already announced that they've been buying Bitcoin for a while, that they're going to start supporting Bitcoin, or that they're going to custody Bitcoin in some sort of way. And now every bank within the US is also going to hold Bitcoin. Am I missing something? This is, when I talk about reasons why Bitcoin should be over $15,000, it's not me simply saying, well, I have Bitcoin. Bitcoin should be a lot higher in price. It's like, no, everything that we kind of fought for, that I thought would take another additional 10 to 15 years is already here, which leads me to believe that probably behind the scenes, a lot of other banks, like this didn't come out of, nowhere. I assume it wasn't rallies or protests that people were having where they're simply like, we want to use Bitcoin. And the banks were like, oh gosh, they're screaming outside again. We have to integrate Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure some of the major banks were probably buying Bitcoin, have invested in cryptocurrencies, have been trading it, have been making tons of money. And they're like, this is the new way of, making money in the future. And then they told the OCC, and they were like, okay, well, sure, fine. All banks within the US. You know how insane that is? Like, think of the creation of anything, and think of like some other object, some other, financial instrument, and what it would take for the OCC to announce that all banks within the United States now have access to it. If you've never lived in the States before, you'd have to be able to move a mountain with your pinky to even get them to kind of turn their head to be like, oh, okay, that's something significant. What about all of this doesn't seem weird to everyone? Is it just me? Is it not the banks? Remember when we got news that Bank of America, one of the head banks of Germany and the other Swiss bank, all came out with news last year that they all saw Bitcoin surpassing the $100,000 mark. And I made a video and I was like, no one thinks that's weird that all these banks who are supposed to be against cryptocurrencies, who have spoken negatively about cryptocurrencies, are now all writing articles and sending out these huge PDFs to some of their richest clients talking about that Bitcoin, which was sitting roughly around, what was it, $6,000, $7,000 last year, that it was going to surpass $100,000. How can anyone in their right mind not think that crypto at this point is going to be here forever, or that the richest people on the planet already own nearly a huge portion of the cryptocurrencies? I thought about this earlier as well. I was like, it's really fascinating because a lot of the news that we do get tends to be around the, Bitcoin integration, or Grayscale's buying Bitcoin, or this place is buying Bitcoin. But I have a really strange feeling that behind the scenes, there's probably a huge accumulation of many other assets as well, whether that is Ether, XRP. I'm going to even throw Bcash in there as well, and I'll tell you why in a second. It could be things like Chainlink. It could be things like, what was the other thing from Coinbase? Compound. I feel like something behind the scenes. This is why I keep saying I think Bitcoin is going to remain number one, because it's just the name of it. I feel like rich people have been accumulating for far too long to kind of let that slip through their hands as far as, the money-making aspect. But I still feel like, logically, they're probably accumulating tons of other altcoins, which are going to be like the basis of finance in the next 10 years. Like, if you don't see this cementing itself into the actual financial world right now, you are not paying attention to the last 1,500 videos that I've made. Banks within the US announcing that this is going to happen. Like, this happened, 10 hours ago? This means that other countries around the world have probably taken notice. If I've taken notice and I don't own a bank and I don't own a country, or I'm not in control of a country, imagine how many, there are at least 5 other countries and at least 500 other banks in the world who are like, we're going to start offering the exact same thing to our customers. And on the entire Bcash thing, I've seen an uptick in people talking about Bcash. This is not me advocating for Bcash. I do not care for Bcash. But a lot of the institutions who announced, New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, that they had been accumulating cryptocurrency since 2014, if you didn't get the time frame, that they had been buying Bitcoin since 2014. Bcash came to life in 2017, which means that if a banking institution, if a company was in possession of 20, 30, 40,000 Bitcoin, they also received 20, 30, 40,000 Bcash. And at that point, I think Bcash wasn't like $8 or something like that. And it's gone up significantly in price, which then tells me that they've also been making tons of money for that as well. I've seen the trickle of larger institutions talking about Bcash. And I think that's why it, I don't want to say it's going to be around for a while, but I think they're also betting on its price, of course, rising should there be a major rally. Anyway, to finish off that thought, yeah, all banks within the US can now hold and custody crypto. I assume we will get news in the next couple of months that they will also start offering the sale of cryptocurrencies. At that point, it's time to really run. And I know, I mean, I'm gonna do this, choose wisely. I'm gonna start telling all my friends, like, listen, you're an absolute idiot if you don't buy some type of cryptocurrency. Like, you have to get into it at this point. It's no longer really speculative. It's no longer like, well, is it gonna make it? Imagine what it takes for all of the mega financial players in the world to start accepting something that's only been around for 11 years in mass. Do you understand that every US bank now has this option to custody crypto? And we're probably going to get tons of news about partnerships over the next couple of days, as well as to which bank is going to do what. But yeah, this is insane. This is one of the craziest things that we've had in a very long time. In a very, very, very long time. If Bitcoin doesn't pump above $10,000 on this news, I've thrown my hands into the air, because it's just absolute madness at this point. Anyway, that's that news. If this doesn't make you bullish, leave the room. I don't know what to tell you anymore, because this is nuts. Without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Grayscale Investments says the U.S. Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, or FINRA, has given the green light for its Bcash trust, here we go, and Litecoin trust to be quoted in the over-the-counter markets. According to a press release, Grayscale says their Bcash trust and Litecoin trust product offers a convenient way for investors to get exposure to Bcash and Litecoin without the hassle that comes with trading cryptocurrencies. The trusts are open-ended trusts sponsored by Grayscale and are intended to enable exposure to the price movement of the trust's underlying assets through a traditional investment vehicle, avoiding the challenges of buying, storing, and safekeeping digital Bcash or Litecoin directly. Grayscale says a select group of investors have been able to buy shares of the trust since 2018, with a large number of shares currently outstanding as of the 30th of June, yada yada. So every share allows you to buy 0.009 of a Bcash. Wow. As of the 30th of June, there were 500,000 shares of Litecoin Trust, and each share allows you or represents ownership of 0.09 of a Litecoin. I feel like at that point, I'd just rather just buy an entire Litecoin. Yeah, so Grayscale is trying to, I guess, push not the limit, but trying to push what other coins that they're really offering. We always just hear about their movement with Bitcoin. We heard last year that they were making significant moves when it came to Ether, but the name is still always Bitcoin that kind of flows through the space. Once again, I assume they've been accumulating for a while, so they have a huge amount of Bcash, and this is why there's 2.7 million shares as opposed to the 500,000 shares for Litecoin. Litecoin is also a coin that I think is going to be around for a very long time. I don't think it's going to have the same impact as many other coins, but I don't see Litecoin going anywhere anytime soon. I would not be surprised if the next two Litecoin halvings, if we start hearing the same news that we hear about Bitcoin now, about Litecoin being like not a store of value, but like, a hedge against inflation kind of rhetoric thing going on. I think the last time Litecoin's all-time high was it $300, $350 or something like that? We had news last year, of course, that a lot of people were speculating that Litecoin could potentially go past $1,000 at some point. I think that is definitely going to happen. I don't foresee a reason why if Bitcoin, it's $20,000, $25,000, $35,000, $87,000, $125,000, that Litecoin wouldn't have tripled from its previous all-time high. But then at that point, we start getting into the territory of people talking about that Litecoin is also a store of value. And anyway, here's the actual announcement right here. Grayscale Investments announces approval of public quotations for eligible shares of Grayscale Bcash Trust and Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, self-custody crypto platform Shapeshift announced today that it has launched a mobile crypto trading app for iOS and for Android. The self-sovereign finance company, wow, launched the app Wednesday, which allows users to buy and sell Bitcoin as well as other digital assets from their smartphones while retaining control of the keys to their assets. That is probably the only... I'll get back to that in 1 second. Shapeshift advertises that its users in 120 countries, including the United States, can buy a plethora of crypto assets in addition to holding ERC20 tokens. They said our new app gives you the power to trade with competitive rates and buy Bitcoin in 120 plus countries. And there's a little pretty photo right there. The point that I wanted to make around here, we've heard of a lot of these launching, a lot of different companies. Shapeshift has been around for a while, but a lot of the people who are launching their cryptocurrency mobile applications, they never usually announce that you have control over your keys. That was something we spoke about last week where that other company was like, yeah, you can buy, sell, hold, and trade cryptocurrency on our platform, but when you want to take your crypto out, you get it in US dollars. And we were all like, wait, but you just, like, and they also announced that you have complete control over your crypto within their platform. When you try to take your crypto out of their platform, well, you have to swap it back into US dollars because they keep your crypto that you actually deposit with them, which I think is also a little shady. But Shapeshift, yeah, you actually keep control of your keys, and I assume your cryptocurrencies as well on your mobile device, which is wonderful. That's how it should always be. The Shapeshift crypto platform launched a year ago, bringing proper self-custody digital asset management to the masses. This was said by Eric Voorhees, but it was only available on the web. The mobile app is here, and with one email and password, users can enjoy self-sovereign finance on both web and mobile, end quote. Voorhees added that Bitcoin offers, and I quote, refuge and empowerment, these words, man, as traditional financial systems have become tenuous. It sounds good. I myself, I wait always a couple of weeks because you're always going to have people who kind of like pile into it and start using it. I'd wait about a week or two to look for reviews of how this is working from other people. Reviews are very, very important. A lot of people sometimes skip over them and go, I don't need them. Nope, you kind of really do need them because if this doesn't work, if it has like faulty things, if people put their crypto onto and they can't take their crypto off, well then, buddy, you join that group of people who are also really sad. So just kind of wait a week or two. I could see this becoming incredibly popular, especially as we are at the advent. We don't see many of them, but I assume a lot of the less expensive ones are going to be popping up anytime soon. The blockchain phones. And once we start getting a huge range of blockchain phones, because a lot of them also allow people to use dApps, like and through the actual phone. When we start getting like private messaging dApps that run on a decentralized server and people can't tell what's going between these things, and you're able to also download decentralized cryptocurrency wallets where you have control over the keys, that's going to change the future tremendously, because all you'll need pretty much to be your own bank is to have a smartphone, download these things, and imagine what that would do for billions of people around the world to be able to do that. Anyway, that's the Shapeshift news. And without further ado, let's move on. Also in come on, get it together now news, after Mastercard's recent announcement on expanding support to cryptocurrencies, Visa has laid out a similar press release, willing to keep up with the competition. Visa is planning to provide quicker and easier ways to spend digital currency worldwide. According to their announcement, around the world, more than 25 digital currency wallets have linked their services to Visa, and they wish to extend it to 61 million existing Visa customers. Mastercard's primary engagement is with Wirex, which will enable direct crypto access to customers. I repeat one more freaking time. Visa and Mastercard have now both come out in support of cryptocurrencies in some sort of way, allowing people to actually unhinderedly to be able to use cryptocurrencies through their services. This is a huge difference from 2016 and 2017, where banks were actually firing people who they found out their employees who were actually using cryptocurrencies. And also remember the long ago where there were a lot of people who were trying to buy cryptocurrencies with Visa and MasterCards and their bank accounts were frozen. Also, not forgetting to mention that every single bank within the United States can now custody crypto. Like Mastercard's Accelerate program, Visa is working under the Fast Track program. This helps fintechs, including those in the digital currency space, integrate quickly with Visa's global network. It plans to extend support to digital currencies and blockchain networks in accordance with client and customer demand. It has also called upon the central banks to explore, or in exploring, the concept of central bank digital currencies. I don't have to read anymore. Like, you got it. I hope you got it. Do you understand? Like, we're there where we wanted to be many years ago. We have every single major institution who has announced that they are going to be integrating, using, custodying, or allowing the use of cryptocurrencies. Why isn't Bitcoin above $25,000? Bitcoin skyrocketed in price in 2017 based off of hype and the idea that we were going to have Bitcoin futures contracts. We did not have the support of Visa. We didn't have it of Mastercard. We didn't have the 40 banks in Germany. We didn't have every single stock market. We didn't have the entirety of every single bank within the United States being able to think of that. Do you understand how much has changed in 2.5 years? That's why whenever we get news that Bitcoin is overvalued or is going to fall down, I want to scream at these people. I'm using very, very kind, polite words right now. These people are idiots. Any single time that we get it, I don't care who they are on crypto, YouTube, Twitter, or otherwise, I'll tell them directly to their face as well. These people are stupid. To even think, remember a couple of weeks ago when Bitcoin jumped up, I was like 4, 5, 6, 7% of people were like, oh boy, here comes the dump. And I'm like, what planet do you reside on where you think that Bitcoin has to, it would make total sense that Bitcoin would have to drop in price if we had no level of adoption in the last 3 years. We have the full spectrum. We even had news last year that Facebook, when they were talking about Libra, that they were their original plan was to use Bitcoin exclusively on their platform. And then we also had the news from other people in the shadows who worked in Facebook who said at some point that Bitcoin is going to be integrated into the actual Libra wallet. Cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Bitcoin is going to have a very long, prosperous future. And if you know anyone, I mean, really, who tells you that Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, that Bitcoin is staying exactly where it is, or Bitcoin needs to dump back down to 1,000, just delete those people from your life. Like, really, just go to your phone, hold it, click delete, and then you're done. Because this is Bitcoin. The entire market should be like pumping heavily right now. It's pumping, but it's not pumping heavily. And it's Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Why don't I have my phone near me? I think it's Thursday. We're going to start having news. I can feel it. Because Bitcoin has risen by like $400 in the last 24 hours. We're going to start having news that Bitcoin is moving too hard, moving too fast, and has to fall below 10,000 once again in order for it to move back above 10,000. Scream at these people. Anyway, here's the actual announcement. They want me to click on the cookie thing. I'm not clicking on that cookie thing. It says, advancing our approach to digital currency. What more do we need to understand where all of this is going, or where it's already gone? We're here. And the accumulation phase won't end. A lot of people seemingly, I keep hearing that, you know, the accumulation phase is over and all this. No. This is going to happen until probably the end of time. People are going to continue to accumulate massive amounts of Bitcoin and XRP and Ether and all these other coins until there's simply nothing really floating around anymore. My goodness. I wish this news, what drives me crazy is that, and I understand, I get it, I really get it, that 19 is a thing, but I see so much other financial news and it's kind of all complete nonsense. Imagine if this news actually made it to CNBC, CNN, Fox News, and all these other places. Like, why are they not talking about that Mastercard and Visa have pretty much accepted cryptocurrencies and are going to allow people like these payments to flow through their actual systems? Name any of you. Can you name one news network last night that spoke about that every single bank within the United States is now able to hold crypto? Can you name one news outlet besides a cryptocurrency one? Doesn't that seem a bit odd? Like this is the most important news for the financial world that we've had since the crash of 2008. Anyway, that's all of that news. This is nuts. It's not just me, right? This is insane. The amount of adoption that we've gotten, and then the prices don't, like, they react, but they don't really react. Let's move on. Next up, in interesting news, a K-drama series titled Romantic Hacker, yep, you heard it, is set to air online in October across South Korea. It focuses on crypto and blockchain-related topics and is linked to a romance story. I assume that's why it's called Romantic Hacker. The show is slated to film in August. According to Sports Danga, K-pop star Kwon Hyun Bin will be featured in the series as the male lead Jaemin. The story follows the hack of a crypto trading platform called Jeju International Crypto Exchange. Jaemin will fight a gang of highly skilled hackers. I pictured them like fighting in an alleyway, like throwing computers and computer chips at each other. Hackers that attempt to steal the money from the exchange. Although the talent agency in charge of hiring actors and actresses for this series stated that it will be an action comedy. Oh, thank goodness. Oh my gosh, I was scared. An action comedy based on cryptocurrency. Media outlets believe that the story could have a romantic touch due to K-drama's title. Yeah, it's called Romantic Hacker. What else would the person be? This was also, I found almost as many articles about Romantic Hacker that I did about the US banks having crypto custody. I wish I was lying. I wish there was really a part of me that was actually lying. Can you imagine if traditional media outlets reported on Romantic Hacker and said nothing about the US banks? I think my head would pop. Anyway, yeah, so there's going to be a new crypto TV show in South Korea for those of you who were just hankering for a new Romantic Hacker series. Sure, it'll not increase adoption, it'll increase awareness, probably amongst people who already know about crypto in the first place. I really picture like a dark alley and people kind of like throwing computer. All right, that's that news, and let's move on. Next up, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, has recently revealed his plans to develop an ERC20 converter to redeploy Ethereum tokens on Cardano's testnet. In a recent video on YouTube, Hoskinson updated the crypto community about the recent developments in the platform's ecosystem, as well as future plans of the platform. Hoskinson also confirmed that the network will undergo a hard fork on the 29th of July. We are 6 days away from the Cardano hard fork. 6. Not that far. In a video, Hoskinson discussed his plans to redeploy Ethereum tokens on the Cardano testnet through an ERC20 converter. The converter will deploy or redeploy ERC20 tokens that operate on the Ethereum blockchain to the ADA testnet. With Cardano's native asset standard, the network will align with the ERC20 standard, enabling the deployment of ERC20 tokens on its blockchain. Where's the really interesting part? I guess maybe that was it. I myself found this interesting. It's meant to be as kind of like a link, if you will, a link across chains, or a chain link, if you will, between Cardano and Ethereum. But it's kind of like a little sneaky way that you kind of allow ERC20 tokens to run on top of Cardano, and then at the same exact time kind of show that your blockchain has the capacity for other coins to be able to run on your blockchain, which could get very interesting because we're probably not going to see Ethereum 2.0 until around, I guess, the year 2150 or something like that at this point. And if we start getting news that ERC20 tokens operate correctly, properly, swiftly, fastly, is that a word, on Cardano. Imagine by November, if we have like 15 projects that leave Ethereum and simply start building on top of Cardano. Anyway, I found that really interesting. I don't know if it's a collaborative effort, but it kind of feels like, hey, you see what they're doing? We can kind of do the exact same thing, but ours is faster and we've actually upgraded. Yeah, that's that news. And to finish things off, and I say this in the most honest way possible, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says Tether displaces XRP as number 3 cryptocurrency with a $10 billion market cap. This one says Tether market cap surpasses $10 billion, increasing at a rapid pace. And this one says Tether's market cap surpasses $10 billion, cementing its position as 3rd largest crypto. So for those of you who are scratching your heads or wondering what the heck I'm talking about, this is the 4th time this year that we've gotten this news. So for those of you who don't know or just are unaware, months ago, Tether passed by XRP. And XRP is the number 4 coin now, and Tether is now the number 3 coin. For some reason, a couple of hours ago, there were multiple news outlets that were talking about that Tether has displaced XRP and is the number 3 coin. But the issue is that this happened months ago. But it's also kind of weird because remember it was February and April, we also got news that Tether had displaced XRP. And then when we were looking at the prices, it hadn't happened. And then the 3rd time we got the news, it actually happened. And now we're getting the same exact news a 4th time, but it's already happened. So I'm not really sure what's going on. There were about 12 different websites talking about this same exact thing. Sure, this already took place. Maybe they're just re-celebrating that Tether's the number 3 coin and XRP is number 4. I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost as if this news just happened when it already had happened. So yeah, that's that. I don't know how to end this. It's all kind of weird. Oh, actually, hold on. Wait. I used that awkward opportunity to go reach for my phone. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so Tether has displaced XRP, but that also happened months ago. So why are there so many articles talking about what's already happened? As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Storier, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Moroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy, 3D, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangelavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minton Coins, Miller, Hishas Every Day, and Calskips, Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Body Make Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a supporting member of the channel, and thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently up by 2.12%. It is at $9,513 US. It is $400 higher than where we were about 5 or 6 days ago. Here's the pump right here. Ethereum pumped what Bitcoin should have pumped, but that's besides the point. Ethereum is up by 8.81% on this news, or maybe simply just following the magnet that is Bitcoin. What's kind of weird is that there was a pump, and I don't have the actual chart here. Yesterday, there was also this similar kind of pump upward, but it's kind of trending sideways right now. I'm going to hope that this is simply because half the world is sleeping. That can be the only reason as to why Bitcoin is not easily above $10,000 right now. That has to logically be the only reason. Because think about it. Visa and Mastercard, every stock exchange, major banks around the world, and every bank within the US. Not even mentioning Grayscale has, and we get Grayscale news about once every 3 weeks. 14,000 Bitcoin mined. They, at that same time, had bought 19,000 Bitcoin. something's clearly happening behind the scenes where all these rich people are buying tons of Bitcoin. The price isn't really reflecting what's going on. So I'm not going to cross my fingers or my toes or my eyes and just assume that logic will reign supreme by the end of the day. Bitcoin will have passed by 10,000 US dollars. Coinbase and BitMEX won't have any server problems and will all live happily ever after. The rest of the coins are also moving up. Chainlink is up by just a smidge under 10%. It was, yeah, it's number 9 right now. I think Chainlink, the last time we really spoke about it, was number 11. It looks like it is going to pass Litecoin in the next couple of hours. Potentially, it is not that far away. It also looks like that BSV rather, might be in trouble. It really shouldn't even be in the top 30, but it kind of is what it is. Anything else completely crazy? IOTA's up. Well, relatively everything is up. Some of the DeFi coins are down. I assume that train just kind of ran out of steam. I assume they'll be back up eventually, but they have huge run-ups and then they kind of back it down. Yeah, Ampleforth is down. So is, what was it? Lend is down and Compound is up a slight bit. Balancers, just sure. Why not at this point? And yeah, so we'll see. I'm trying not to expect the curse of 2020 where things just simply don't make sense and just hope that, you know, by the end of the day, we will have a proper reflection of what's been going on. Keeping in mind that this is all happening during printing of trillions of dollars and trillions of euros and all this other stuff around the world, that everyone is rapidly adopting Bitcoin. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Boy. Here we go. Thank you all once again, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.